Larry Jacobson and Sergeant Kyle Ruge. Hey guys, welcome.
Bart, how are you?
Good, nice to see you both.
Thanks, Bart.
Yeah,
You too.
thanks for your service. Larry, longtime sports commentator on JTV.
And trying to set the land speed record for the amount of times I can come on for different things. I think it's like 5 or 6 now. So
Yeah, it's awesome. Great to have you serve. Did you come in on lights and siren?
I did.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I did. Full bore. Told everybody to get down and then ran in the front door.
Awesome. And Kyle, great to have you back on the show too. So this election day, there is a ballot request from the Sheriff's Department. And we've had a request in the past. We thought we needed a new jail or at first, and then we decided, well, we need something. But now, what do we need? What are we looking, what's the department's request?
What we're looking at right now, and trying to keep it short for you, we know the Wesley Street facility is not in very good physical shape. However, we've had 2 on the ballot now to try to get a new facility. The taxpayers have said, hey, we're not going to approve a new facility, which is completely fine. But we have to run the facility that we currently have. So our job is to come on and make sure people know we are informing everyone that this millage is only to fund the day-to-day operations of the jail as it currently is. There's no mortar, we're not building a new facility. The people have spoken, they don't want that right now, and that's completely fine. This is just to continue to maintain what we already have.
So people might wonder, well, haven't we been paying for that right along, and can't you just keep using whatever that money is?
You want to tackle that one? You want me to?
So the millage was up in 2023. It was a 20-year mill, and when it ran up, there was no plan to continue it. So what we're asking for the voters is to vote yes on the November ballot for the millage. And with voting yes, you will get the continued service that we've been providing for the last 20 years. If it doesn't pass, what it would look like is a decrease in police presence. It's a jail millage, but it affects both corrections and the law enforcement services that we provide.
So you have to run like road operations, jail, everything from the same pot of money, right?
Correct. It's just like we all have a budget at home. I'm sure Karen probably is in charge of your budget.
Oh yeah.
But we all have a budget at home, and it has different legs.
Is
Your mortgage.
Pam in charge?
I have nothing to do with it. She is completely in charge. That's why I'm solvent and I get to wear a nice shirt. But it has different legs under it. Your mortgage, your electric, your entertainment. The Sheriff's Department is no different. It's one big umbrella, and the jail is a huge component of that umbrella, as are some administrative things and obviously road patrol. And because the Sheriff's Department has to operate the jail, that's a foundational constitutional piece, have to operate the jail. Then if you are faced with cuts, those cuts are going to have to come from somewhere. If it does not pass, we have been working with the sheriff. We are told 12 to 14 positions will go, most likely divided equally between road and corrections department, and then it would significantly alter our day-to-day operations. That includes getting rid of an entire night shift. So we would become similar to Hillsdale County, which is after 6 to 8 o'clock at night, you call 911, you get on the state police hopper, and you wait and see what happens.
Really?
Yes. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to let people know, we're trying to stop some misinformation. There was a comment made a little while ago, and somebody from the county had said, this millage doesn't have anything to do with road patrol. I don't know why that's being brought up. That's not a proper statement, because the sheriff has his umbrella, and he has to balance that umbrella. And if he has to cut to fill this gap here, obviously road patrol would be adversely affected.
So we have, like you're like on contract.
Yes.
To Concord.
Concord Township, Concord Village.
And we've got people on contract to Summit and a few
Parma,
others.
Sandstone, there are a
Yeah.
few others, yep.
So what would happen to all of those contracts?
The contract positions would be safe, based on what those communities want. Where you would lose it is you have a lot of communities that don't have that. They don't have the contract for their services, so it's basically, you call 911. We are coming. We have some state police presence out there as well, but they're spread thin, covering here, Jonesville area, Hillsdale County. It would be based on what they have available and how quickly they can get here.
Kyle, you're a supervisor, right?
Yeah, so a major concern for the sheriff and us would be if we put Larry out in Concord, we wouldn't have anyone to back him up in case of an emergency. So that's what part of this would also continue to fund, is us to be able to put people out there to back up. And we back up multiple other agencies in the county, Napoleon Township, Springport Township, Spring Arbor Township, Blackman Township, the city of Jackson. We back all those agencies up as well. So that's something that potentially could be missed if this millage is not passed.
So when we had the millage, we were paying this.
Yes.
It stopped, the millage expired,
Yes.
and then for a year, it wasn't being collected.
Correct.
The
There
county
were some
pulled
others.
it out of the general fund for that year.
Okay. Why didn't we have the millage renewal request when it expired over a year ago?
I would ring your bell, but I do not believe that would be appropriate as a really, really good question. Because the question begins, if you have a millage or a bond or whatever that kicks in 1998 or 1999, and you say, hey, this is going to be 20 years or 25 years, we're going to have this. And then you decide, well, I got an idea. Let's take the day-to-day funding and roll that into that millage. That'll save us money here. Theoretically, that's a great idea. The only problem is, in 20 to 25 years, that millage or that bond or that bank note gets paid off, so that expires, and now you're left with our operating budget was included in that, so unless we've been doing a great job of saving, we're going to be in a bit of trouble, and that's where we're at now. So we're not trying to.
So basically, we didn't need it for a period of months, and then now we're looking at going forward. Now we need it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
End of this year it expires, right?
Yes.
Technically, everything
Yes.
runs out December 31st.
What,
And then we go.
What would happen at so Channer Road, are we looking at Channer Road being the only jail at some point? Or are we still using Wesley Street? We're
Still using.
still
Wesley
using
Street.
Wesley Street with the dripping and the,
Yeah, it's not. It's not a positive environment in there, but yes.
you don't want to go to jail.
Do not,
Do
because
not want to go to
that
jail.
is not the facility you want to go to.
So this millage does not address any of those issues
Correct.
at Wesley Street. This is just to continue the standard operation that the citizens of Jackson County have came to
So-
enjoy.
Would you have to, like at the Channer Road, would you have to say, we can't we can't take any more prisoners. We're either going to have them be on home release, or they're going to have to go to another county, something like that? Is
That's
that what-
correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that could be costly too.
Absolutely. If you're going to have to put them somewhere else, they're not going to house them or board them for free. We're going to have to pay for that. But
And then we would be in
that's the
charge of
problem.
the transportation for that. I mean, there's a whole cost along with that. It's just not feasible for us to be able to do that.
So like Owasso, if we went there, you'd have to pay the transport, and then you'd have to pay Owasso
Yeah.
to house the
Yes.
person.
Okay.
What would be, so how many total employees are there in the department?
Road, we are supposed to be around 40. That's what we're allocated. Obviously, we don't have anywhere near that, but that's just the road patrol.
40 deputies and 6 sergeants is what we're allocated for on the roadside.
Right now?
Right now, yes.
So we would lose, if the millage doesn't pass, you're looking at cutting humans, people
Cutting
jobs.
Right, cutting those positions.
And if you look, if you can go on the website on MCOLS, Michigan Coalition of Law Enforcement, and you can look at their job openings, and there are multiple job openings. And which is just crazy that they can't find people to fill them, and then we're talking about cutting positions.
Yeah, it's scary, and the not being able to find people to fill the positions obviously is not a Jackson thing. That's an everywhere thing, and law enforcement, any type of first responder situation, there just aren't the bodies clambering down the door that there used to be, and there are a lot of reasons that go into that. But I think we're allocated the positions. If you lose those, and again, we're looking at the sheriff can walk some of that back as he kind of works things out on his end. But you're looking at 12 to 14 bodies. I believe road patrol side would absorb a 6 to 8 body hit. That's initially been talked about, but then you'd have to maybe look at closing barracks at the Chandler Road facility, where certain arrests we would be advising and releasing. We're not taking you to jail on. Very similar almost to COVID.
Yes.
When COVID,
You didn't take people to jail.
We're not taking them unless it's a very significant felony or crime.
Another miscue that people are hearing is that the sheriff doesn't have to provide a law enforcement service division, and the sheriff's one of his that he has to provide is public safety. And to me, law enforcement services go right in hand with corrections and public safety.
Yeah.
A big umbrella.
Yes.
Now the county, is there like money from the county? So you're funded, it's county money. So does the county then, is there not money from the county available if the millage were not to pass?
The county commissioners would have to vote on the
Yeah.
budget, and they tell the sheriff how much money that he has, and based on what the sheriff's being told, if the cuts are to come, this is how much it would be, and that's how he came up with those numbers, 12 to 14, depending on where it goes. You can only cut pens and pencils and papers so
Yeah.
much. I mean, unfortunately, to make those significant cuts, you have to get into the people.
So the sheriff's pretty confident that the budgeted number from the county is what's going to be today, tomorrow, and next year. It's not going to go up or down based on anything that
I
happens.
mean, he can, as they get together, and obviously their budget conversations are above our head. But as they get together and discuss that, they'd have to find a way to move some things around. But as we're being told, this is what you're looking at if the millage is no. So our goal is to go out and talk to as many people as we can and say, hey, this is not to build a facility. We don't want people to look at it on the ballot and say, well, you already tried to get a new jail. The answer is no, that's not what this is. This is just to fund the operation as we have it right now. They can worry about a new facility at some point in the future.
But yes, if the millage passes, the sheriff plans on his budget being the same as it would have been last year. So then the service would be the same that we've been providing.
All right. Money for boots on the ground,
Boots on the ground,
Boots on the
absolutely. Or polished shoes, however.
or polished shoes. All right. November 5th,
5th.
Election Day coming up, and people are voting right now.
Yeah.
Absentee
Yes.
ballots
Yep,
are out there.
they're out.
All right. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
And
Thanks
good luck.
for your support.
Yeah.
You bet.
Absolutely.
Recommending a yes vote for the public safety on Jackson County ballots on November 5th. Sergeant Kyle Ruge and Deputy Larry Jacobson.